So good evening, everybody. We're just finished the game, beating Melrose. Breck Eisner is actually at Portsmouth. He's at the park. It's not a fake picture back there. Breck,
No green screen? That was a wonderful win. I'm told by Andrew that I need to now be here for every single game going forward, which sounds fun to me, but I don't think my family would be so happy about it.
how was the rain? Was it good, bad? We always seem to we do well in the rain.
Yeah, I think the lads played pretty well given the wet pitch. I think they used it to their advantage. I think it was a really strong performance from Swanson, seeing his Swansons and Segicic's and Williams' goals were wonderful. The team was played strong together. It was an exciting environment, and I am truly happy I was here for this game.
Well, they look great on Pompey Plus. I was happy when the third goal came with 10 minutes to go. It was a nice change. Let me start off, Breck. Let me a second just to start off, and you can jump in here as well. We always ask about our ambition, about Tornante's ambition, and we have the same ambition we've had since 2017. We want to get in the Premier League. We have patience. We had patience getting from League One to the Championship. We're now in the Championship, and that is our goal. I will say that through a rather, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, the fans have been fantastic. The selling out, it's just been great, and it is different from most professional teams that I've seen. Did you get sense there, Breck? The fans really behind the team?
Oh yeah, it was a very boisterous and loud. We drowned out the Millwall fans completely, which is always exciting for me.
Were you nervous? Were you nervous after the first half when we only had one goal and you know?
I think the first 5 minutes I was concerned. First 7 minutes of play, and then I think Pompey really started to dominate. But it was a little, I wanted to win today because I knew I was recording this, and it's a much higher spirits recording than had we lost.
Well, the other thing that I think I should mention, we have a really good squad. We have had unfortunate injuries. A lot of teams have had that. And I know there's a lot of talk about how we don't have the most expensive squad. Let me say one thing. I know this has nothing to do with it, but we owned a baseball team. And the first year, I had all the pressure from the fans. And we bought a $100 million first baseman. The first pitch of the first game, he fell into the dugout and was out for the season. The second season, he had a accident on a snowball machine, and the third season, he gained 40 pounds. And we then decided, you know what? Not for financial reasons, we were going to go to new, young, aggressive players, and it worked. We won the World Series. It worked for us in hockey, and it's going to work for us eventually on the pitch here in Portsmouth. So I'm really excited about the way we've done that. I will say that the January window coming up, and Breck, has there been a lot of talk as you've walked around with Andrew all through the property? I know you're going everywhere, right?
Yeah, I walked everywhere. I just tell everyone I'm facilities manager. I have nothing to do with the squad. So to divert those questions.
Is there a lot of pressure on the January window? Does everybody say, oh, we're going to get 25 great players?
I think everybody is looking to the January window to, enhance the squad, a strong squad that exists already. I think everyone has got their eyes on what can happen in January, and certainly that was a point of conversation as they walked around Fratton.
Well, we're kind of in the same position as we were last year. We lost to Plymouth before we had this conversation with Eric and me. We're gonna keep to the path that we're on. We're gonna look for young, aggressive players. We're gonna use loans where we need them for the second season, so to speak, for the second half of the season. I think our players, 3 of them coming back from injuries now, I think we're going to see a change. And our goal, obviously our long-term goal I suggested, but our goal is obviously we're not going to get relegated. I said last year, we're not going to get relegated. And by the way, I don't know if you talked at all about the women's team, Breck, on your. You went to see all the training grounds.
We did. We have visited Jay and Brooke and saw the facilities there, the new facilities where they moved into the Pompey in the community space, and Very exciting stuff.
By the way, they really came together at the end of last season. 5 out of 6 games undefeated, pushed way past relegation, as did the men's team. So I think we're more than lucky. I think we've pulled ourselves together with slow starts, both for the men and women, both years. Uh, we've won 2 out of the last 3 women's games, so we're kind of excited about that. Uh, Injuries, I don't know if I don't think we have any more injuries than other teams. It's unfortunate that some of our best players were injured. They're back. It was great to see 3 of them back today. So I'm excited. We look at that really carefully. So the question, and I'm sure Breck, you've been asked about this question. What does it look like to be in the championship, and how do we deal with that? Have you been asked that? Have you and Andrew talked about that as you've walked around, and Steve Cripps on the facilities and all that? Oh, by the way, I should say, let me before you.
Yeah, please.
No, I'm going to wait. What are they telling you before I jump in?
No, you go first, and then I'll go in.
Well, we've spent a lot of money on facilities, on capital expenditures, and everybody knows that everybody loses money in the championship. It is really, at the moment, a very difficult business. The losses are extraordinary. We are going to try to modify that by not spending a lot of money on facilities now, because we've got the facilities. Fratton Park is really great. We own the training ground. We've now renovated the training ground. The first team is in the training ground. We now have the academy where the first team was out back of the. Did you see that, Breck? How does that look where the new training ground for the academy is?
It looks wonderful. I mean, what I'd like to speak to in general is how wonderful all of Fratton Park and the academy looks, and that the experience. I took several hours this morning or this afternoon with Cripps and with Andrew, and we walked around, saw the entire fan experience, and the work they've done and the work that Steve has somehow pulled off is remarkable. I think making sure that coming to Fratton Park is a really positive experience for the fans in terms of being able to use a bathroom, being able to get food, being able to get in, being able to get out, having a good match day experience is a big focus of what we've done as well. And just seeing all the improvements year on year on year, it really shows from this lady back here. And so similar thing at the training ground where the first team, a space and the environment can affect the emotion and the performances. It all comes together, and the new facilities at the training ground where the first team is located and the offices, and now the academy having their own space. We just get to be a bigger and a more substantial team, and starting to do that with the women. I'm proud of the work we've done and continue to do. I'm proud of the work that Steve and Andrew have done to really build up this place and to build up the park and the training ground.
How was the fan zone in the rain and the dark and all that?
I mean, there were definitely people hiding under cover and trying to stay dry. I went over to that big pub across the way next to the Junk Emporium, the brewery. Was packed full of people who were staying. Which one?
The brewery.
Staggeringly.
Yeah,
the brewery, the Staggeringly Brewery. It was packed over there. So those people, some of them might have been over here if it was a nice, beautiful day. But it seems like the fan zone and the refreshed Victory Lounge is wonderful. And I didn't get to see the doors open at the Victory Lounge on a sunny or not rainy day, but I know and I hear that that's a nice positive.
Yeah, I think we've really enhanced it. We have plans for further enhancement around Fratton Park. I was supposed to go to a convention in Orlando to see all sorts of different ideas. I held like Odysseus stuck to the mast going around the Mediterranean. I didn't go. I didn't want to see anything I wanted to buy. We're gotta pull back on things that don't apply to the pitch, to the players, to the coaching staff, to protecting of injuries. So we are going to concentrate, obviously, on players on the pitch. I will say there is some hope, although I am not going to, I'm straight with everybody. The pyramid right now, financially, particularly in the championship, is a disaster. All teams are losing money, and it's not a little bit of money, it's a lot of money. Parliament has passed a law that finally there is uh, a group, a administrator. That's probably the wrong word. Uh, a
Regulator.
regulator who is going to look at what the EFL gets of its share of the media. Right now, we get 6%, which is why we're in such trouble. And I think within about 18 months, there'll be the laws passed, there'll be more money for the EFL. We got to make sure it's spent correctly, but that's one hope of correcting the financial problem. The other hope is eventually getting to the Premier League, and we can't spend 8 years getting there. That would be catastrophic financially. So I don't want to mislead anybody. The finances are a serious problem. But let me say this, I still believe in the under 23, 24 young new players with the strategy of getting good players that can advance your team, but also could be saleable, which is a way to make up for the losses, will happen for us. As Eric said last year, we do not want to be a yo-yo team. We do not want to go back down to the League One. We want to move up the ladder. We want to be financially intelligent. We know the only thing the fans care about is winning. And, if you saw me on a weekend when we don't win, you know that's what I care about.
I can attest to that.
Oh, my God. It said, if you lose. Today I thought, oh, my God, 2-0. We're now 2-1. We're one man up, and we could lose this, but we didn't. We did well. So let me just say, we're enthusiastic, as always. All three of my sons and Jane are enthusiastic. We just have to figure out the finances. We have to get the Parliament law completed, and we have to not be relegated. So I'm always optimistic. And let me just say, the last time, we're not being relegated. Trust me, we're not being relegated. And I do think when you go through who we have on the team, name after name after name, and some of it became apparent today, we have a good team. We have an excellent management. Obviously, I think Andrew is the best CEO. I think we have a great coach, and I think we have a great sporting director. And we have our merchandise has grown every year. The food is now edible, I think, I'm told. Although I'm not sure I'm into the meat pies, but I think you are. And everything is doing well, except for the last period of games. Now we're on a new track. We've won. We're going to keep winning. Breck, do you have anything else that you saw there that you want to complain
Only
to me
thing that I
about?
would share that I enjoyed hearing was I was sitting with the owner of Millwall, and at the end of the game we congratulated. He congratulated me, and I told him a good game, and he said, "You guys have a good squad. You look good." So love hearing that from another owner that we beat.
They're a good team, and they're good. They're also a family-owned club, and they've gone through the financial difficulties. And I think you met a really good guy. So we want all the teams to be run well. All right, so that's our fill-in. Next year we'll be further up on the table, way further up on the table. And I congratulate John Messino and Rich Hughes and Andrew and Breck. You have to move there now, so that'll be good. All right, thank you, everybody. See you
Thank
soon.
you. Have a great meeting. Thank you.
So long.